Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Miela. I'm looking at I'm doing a series of studies on the Shalom Chronicle. This is in relationship to the Silver Scroll. Silver Scroll is this item that was found at Ketev Hinan, and it's found in very much a strong environment of that time and those conditions and that letter style of the way it was inscribed on the scroll. Today I'm looking at the Shalom Chronicle, call it that because that's what it calls itself, the Debar. And then the waters take a walk. The waters walk through the tunnel, through Hezekiah's tunnel. Here's a map, and this chronicle here is a description of how the men chop through the rock. They have axe against axe, pickaxe against pickaxe, and then finally they get to a point where they can listen and they can hear each other through the rock, and at some point they cut it through and the water starts flowing. Wow, very big deal. And there's some measurements as to how long it is. We're going to compare that to what modern archaeologists have discovered in the measurements. Pretty accurate, an approximation, of course, by a few meters here and there. But this tablet here was placed there by the engineers. They wanted something to remember themselves as to the work that had taken place when they managed to cut through this tunnel. So very interesting inscription there. And I'm looking at the portion of the inscription that mentions the waters coming through, the walking of the waters. In fact, it uses the same term that we find in Isaiah. This is the third person plural, and then they walked va yalahu, and then they walked hamayim, the waters, from the outlet to the pool. Here it is in line drawing. Okay, va yalahu, and then they walked hamayim, the waters, minha, from the outlet to the pool. And this is a little bit more recognizable font right here. And then they walked the waters from the outlet to the pool. Ve'yilchu hamayim minha motze al habircha. The waters take a walk. And I have another drawing here of why this is, why they're walking very gently, because it had a very gentle slope. When it got to the exit point here, where the pool is, they have been cutting down actually this way, and then once the two sections were joined, they had to cut through to the floor somewhat more to level it out. In other words, to get that water to flow very gently and very smoothly from the north end, from the Gihon spring over here to the Shalom pool. So. And Isaiah mentions how the waters walk through the tunnel because this people has refused the waters of Shiloah. Okay, Ya'an, because ki ma'atz have refused ma'az ha'am hazeh, this people, et me, the waters, hasholoach, of the Shalom, Shaloach, ha-holchim, that are walking me'at, very gently, a little bit of a time. Matsus, and they have rejoiced at Rezin, on Rezin, ben Remaliah, and the son of Remaliah, rather than trusting in the gentle power and gentle care of Jehovah, who's sending this water gently through the tunnel. They don't trust in that. They go into politics and put their trust in people's in other kings, and as it turns out, this only brought on the rushing waters of the river of the Euphrates and of the Assyrian king coming to destroy him and washing over time. Just read the next verse. I had it included, but I was kind of running out of time on how to explain it. But it's when you reject the very quiet, still waters of Jehovah, don't be surprised that the tempestuous waters of the world sweep over you. There's some other comparisons we make here with the Shalom Chronicle and passages from Scripture, and Exodus 14 verse 23 can be compared with the Shalom Chronicle. and with a couple of phrases here. One of them, of course, the very obvious one here is Hamaim, the waters. Same thing right here, Hamaim, okay, the waters. And then this one has a conjunction, that one does not. Now here, this one's from the right, okay, Min Yamin, okay. I can remember this very clearly. My son is named Benjamin, son of my right hand, but this one's Min Yamin. This one's Min Yamin from the right. In other words, when they got to the water fountain in the rock, there's something coming from the right. Something was on the right side of them, and this can be compared with the standing water, which is beside the people as across the Red Sea. You have Min Yaminam, from the right of them. So you have basically the same root, okay, from the right, Min Yamin. So Mem Yod Mem, Mem Yod Mem from the right, and the Nun's still there. This one does have the possessive pronoun suffixed on it, so it has a little bit more than what we have in our Shalom Chronicle, but it's basically the same construction, from the right of them, and this is from the right. So Vayavu Bnei Israel Betok Hayam Bayavasha, and then the people of Israel, sons of Israel, came in the middle of the sea on dry ground. Maim, and the waters, Lachem, were to them Homa. This is a wall. Same word that's used for walls of cities, okay? Homa, okay? The Homa. They were a wall. Mimenu, Mimeninam, from the right. U, Meshemolam, and from their left, okay? Some of the translators have tried to insert a left in here. It's a little hard to see, so I've left it off. But here it's still Min Yamin. The right is most certainly there. Now we have a very interesting passage in which at least 5 words are compared or are used in both sides. We're here with Shalom Chronicle. Let's start with the front one, with the top one here. And then compare it to what we have in Exodus 17, verse 6. This passage here is Jehovah speaking to Moses and saying, "Behold, I will stand before you there on the rock at Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, and the water will come out of it, and the people will drink." Moses did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. This, of course, was a very contentious moment, and in the end, really, it didn't turn out so good, but water did come out of the rock, and Jehovah most certainly did provide the water there. So we'll start with Batsar. Now, as I said in the previous study, the ancients preferred very much the base roots. In other words, the very simplified roots, right down to the bottom consonants that are in the root. In later versions of the root, we will have what they call hollow roots. That's what textbooks call it. Unfortunately, textbooks call these the hollow roots, and then they say, "Oh, you got defective versions of it." No, there's nothing defective about it. This is the simplified root. That's where they started. Later on, the vav was added. The surik was added in here, and you see it here as well. So get that firmly in your mind. There's nothing defective about this kind of construction. It was very much the original way of writing it. So you got sor, and so this is the solid rock. We have one example here, Hatzor, that is the rock, on the rock, and then Basar, on the rock, against the rock, so Batsor. So in our passage here in Exodus, we have Sur appearing twice, okay? Hatzor, Basur, okay? And also the workers struck. They were striking. They were cutting. You see this here with this picture right here. That's why I haven't included. They're cutting through the rock, So this is third person plural of to cut, to chop. Okay, haki, haku. Okay, they're chopped. And we have the same verb in our passage here of Exodus 17:6, and it's Jehovah telling Moses, "Vahikita," and then you will cut, you will chop. Okay? So this is third person plural suffix-ending, and this is second person singular suffix-ending. Same verb. This one does not have a conjunction on. This one does. Okay, it has a conjunction, and then from here on out, the Hirikyot Tau, this one is the suffixed second person ending of this word, and you will cut onto the rock. And Hamayim, of course, Mayim shows up here. This Mayim right here does not have an article on the front of it. This one does, okay? Hamayim, and this one's Mayim. So this is an absolute form of it. We've seen the construct form in the previous examples, meh, but Mayim is the absolute form of waters, waters and plural, always found as a plural, yeah, Hamayim. And we have min from, this is we'll start with a simplified one, memnun. And we have here meh from mem, and then you have the same root here of this preposition. And this preposition here is doubled up. You have just a single simplified version of a preposition here, but you got from it. Okay, so you'll have min, and then so you have a prefix form of the same preposition on top of it. So from it, and then on this one you have a suffixed pronoun on the end of that one. So this one's a very much simplified form of it. This one's a little bit more complicated, but it's still the same set of preposition here, same preposition. Finally, we have ha mutse. This is the outlet. It's based on a verb, yetsa. It's based on this verb right here, yod sadik aleph. Okay, to go out. Okay, to go out, to be leaving, to send forth. So, so here it's the verb, and then those things will go out. That is, the waters will be going out from it, and then okay. So you have the waters here from it going out. The waters are going out. It's plural here because mayim is plural, and you have a conjunction on the front of it here. You can take this verb, then you convert it to a noun via the addition of a mem, and then there's also an article in front of that particular noun. So this is, and then the waters are going out, and this one is the outlet, based on the same root of sadik, sadik aleph. And when Paul was speaking to the Corinthians, he was talking about the people traveling through the desert, and he said very clearly, wow, those people, as they went, they had to depend on a spiritual drink. They all drank of the same waters. In other words, they came to a place and Jehovah provided the waters. And where did the waters come from? They had to come from a rock. And very much we consider, and it's a rock that's solid, that's we can trust on it. Jesus himself said, put your trust on the rock, on the solid rock that doesn't wash away in the storms. It's very strong, it's very solid. So where they drank from the spiritual rock, sur, sur, that followed them, and that rock was Christ. And we end with our silver scroll here. And Yivarcha Yehovah v'yeshmorecha, Ya'er Yehovah fanav alecha v'yechunecha, v'yetzeh Yehovah fanav alecha v'yetsham lecha shalom. So the Lord bless, the Lord keep you, the Lord bless you, the Lord keep you, the Lord is gracious to you, and the Lord will lift up his countenance upon you and place before you peace. So God, bring peace to your heart and to your life at this time. God bless, and until the next time.